Hello, this is Bean here. For those in Zoom and for those in YouTube, can you hear me and see my screen? Let me know in the chat, especially for those in YouTube. Let me know in the chat that you're able to see my screen right now and as well as hear me. Okay, very good. How about you? Have you had your dinner yet? Right now it's Singapore time 8 a.m. I had an early dinner at about 4. So I don't know whether I have dinner or I don't have dinner. Not too sure. Whether that's dinner or lunch or whatever. All right. Thanks a lot for joining. I'm still waiting for some people to join us, especially those from Zoom. Yes, thanks a lot for YouTube. Okay. A lot of people in YouTube right now. Okay, that's good. All right, let me just switch my screen so that you can see the disclaimer page. All right, so this is the disclaimer page to whatever that's being discussed today is for educational purpose, not financial advice. I'm not qualified to provide any financial advice. I'm purely here to share something that I enjoy and hope that you can benefit from it. Okay. All right. So let's continue. Just gonna take it a little bit slowly so that more people can join us because I don't want to start on important parts and then we have, you know, those who are not here yet, but I also don't want to drag too long. So what I'm gonna do is to continue the wash and rinse of what I did in the first part. I will give you the link later on for the first part if you missed it. Today I'm going to talk about the second part, which is more towards the application. And if you would like to, you can ask me about how to apply wash and rinse into your trades. And I just want to focus more in the stocks. A lot of people thought that I'm only doing Forex, indices, or crypto. No, I'm actually doing anything that is easy to make money, as I call the low hanging fruits. But today I wanted to share more about stocks, so that's why I'm focusing more towards a higher time frame, which would be the weekly chart and as well as the daily chart. Okay, I try not to go too low a time frame, so I focus mostly on the week and the day. Okay, and I just want to share with you some of the trades that I've done. Um, I mean, I don't want to recommend new trades because these are discussions I always do with my regular programs. But today I just thought that it's probably better, easier for me to share what I've done and the trades with wash and rinse. Okay. Now a little bit about myself. I had finally a very nice haircut rescue, but my hairdresser says that those hairs that's really trim all the way inside needs like about 5 to 6 months to grow. Um, I mean, I wish to show my face, but because of the stream rate, I decided not to. But this is me. So I enjoy very much investing and trading. It's not something that I'm scared. Yes, it provide me with money. Yes, I'm also doing training. I'm also a SGX Academy trainer. I also train and speak for the issuers, the banks, the brokers. I also train remiser. I also have a retail base that I've talked to them regularly because partly I love whatever that I'm doing. I love to talk. I love to share my insights, but I do not encourage shortcut. Okay, I know that there's a lot of automations out there. A lot of people are promising huge returns, but nothing beats actually having a skill, knowing the know-how. But yet, I enjoy automations. Yes, I love automations, and a lot of my trades are automated to the point such that, well, do I still place the trades? Yes, at night, in the morning, in the afternoon. But a lot of time when I search for these trades, they're all automated because I love not having to find the signals myself. I love that the signals are being, given to me. It's more like saving time. It's about AI. I don't want to use the AI words too widely, but it's really where the AI helps me to write, and then the AI or automations help me to spot for all this sickness. Okay, and this is something which I encourage. What am I trading? I'm trading mainly into Forex, stocks, indices, crypto, whatever that is low hanging. So I'm actually quite active in the morning. Starts my day about 6:20. I do get about 10 more minutes of sleep right now, so 6:20. And then exercise. The first market that I'm doing will be the Singapore and the Hong Kong market, followed by the FX, the indices, then at night will be the US market. Yes, 9:30. That's why I end a session at 9:30 and then probably sleep at about 11:30. So that's really my schedule. So if you would like to know what are the trades that I've done, you can just ask me whenever I have time, just to go through a little bit on the two courses that I'm running. Both comes with cashback. Cashback means that you pay a course fee and you do get all your course fee fully refunded. It's not a scam. And we do have 7 coaching webinars a week. Today is supposed to be done by Pauline, but I took over that session and talks about wash and rinse, which is part of the program in our daily wash. And as I said, right, a lot of our sessions in terms of the things, the tools that we are using, they're all automated already. All right, so end of the day, I will take about 10 minutes to go through the courses because today I'm just going to talk about the top loss, and it comes with a 100% cashback as well as what I think is a very attractive offer, which is a $500 loss cover. $500 loss cover means that your losses of up to $500 with the broker, they are fully covered. In other words, you are going to the markets to trade with a $500 in your hand, right, in your pocket to say that hey, it's been covered. So I see this as a very good deal. All right. Okay. Now, just to highlight that you can find the first part. First part means that the part where I talk about wash and rinse here. All right. So you have to watch if you are not sure about what it's wash and rinse. Okay, please watch that. You do need the first part in order to do the second part, but I do my best to explain a little bit about wash and rinse. And more importantly, if you want to know the basic of wash and rinse, which is under module 1, then please scan this QR code here, which I think that I should be copying to you, and then you can scan this QR code or you just copy this link here so that you can register for the module 1. Okay, definitely you need module 1 to understand what's wash and rinse. Okay, because under the tall cost there are two modules. One is the free module, the other one is the paid module. Paid module is the one that is charging 1,200. Of course, as I mean, to be frank, you will know that you probably won't get everything of the system in module 1. All right, and of course, I've created such that you have the automations, you have the tools to help you, and that's included in module 2. Black screen in YouTube. Uh, does the rest of you see black screen in YouTube? Or you are seeing okay? Probably you might want let me just do that this way here. Okay. I think that uh okay, yes now, right? Okay. I hope that this is good. Okay, that's good. All right. Sorry for that black screen. I guess that just now I was sharing a little bit on, switching the screen here and there, but I think it should be fine right now. Okay, now let's work on a little bit on thanks a lot for the feedback. Let's work on a little bit on wash and rinse as a revision. All right. So this is the pattern of wash and rinse, and that this one here must be a close that's below the previous low. Okay, because in the buy pattern, you always want to buy low. So the wash bar must close lower than the previous low. And rinse means that it must close back above the wash line. So what is the wash line? Wash line is a horizontal line that's being drawn on the low, all right, of a bar, like this bar here, after a next bar, which is this bar, had closed above the previous low. Okay, so this is where you draw the wash, and then you have these rinse that close back up. Okay, now this is a buy wash and rinse signal. In other words, right, we are buying at this rinse bar here. Okay, there are variations in terms of the wash and rinse pattern, all right, and explained in the earlier part. What are the variations? Meaning that it's not just a two-bar pattern; it can be a multiple bars. There is no limit in the number of bars that form a wash and rinse pattern. All right. The most important thing is that the wash bar must just close below the wash line. Okay. Or rather, you only have a close below the previous low, then you can join the wash line, and then the rinse bar must close above the wash line. All right. Now, this is a bearish pattern, all right, and that's it means that is a sell at the rinse bar here. So this is the rinse W, sorry, R, but there must be a W first, right? W means that price had closed above the previous high, and then you can draw in a wash line. So this is a wash line, but price cannot hold at the high side. That means cannot trade above the wash line. And if it's closed back below the wash line, then this becomes the rinse, and that's where you're gonna have a bearish signal. So the reverse, the common principle is true. It's not only a two-bar pattern, but it can be multiple bars. But when you have a sell signal, you really want to look for a bearish wash and rinse and a resistance level here. All right, that means you need to find resistance levels, or when you have a buy pattern, you want to find that the buy pattern is located in a support level. Okay, so this is the second point, apart from the pattern recognition. Now, the third point is that a lot of time in terms of the wash bar, right? Now you find that the wash bar is represent a lot of enthusiasm. Okay, represent a lot of enthusiasm. What do I mean, right? So sometimes you find that you enter a trade, and that the on the day that you enter a trade, let's say for example you buy, right, on the day that you bought, right, it's always very, very strong. That means that price became very strong. Like this, price had a close above the previous high, like it closed higher, right? Now that wash bar, it's always where there's a lot of enthusiasm, and then price close right at the top, that you start chasing and chasing and chasing and chasing and just can't get it, and finally you got in. All right. But the sad thing is that the next day, right, or just like a few days later, or even the next day, the next moment, it just flip the other side. Like all that bullishness all gone. Okay. So one of the questions Esther asked is that, is it necessary for the O bar? That means I think the O bar means that the wash bar, right? So this is the wash bar. Oh, okay, 0 and 1. Okay, understand. So this is the 0 bar here. Let me just do it. Okay, so Excel is referring to the first lesson where I mark this as 0, which is the like reference bar, right? And 1 is the current bar. Is it necessary for it to be the same color? Um, Not really. The whole idea is that it can be a black color. Okay, that means that this one here, right, can be a black color, but the price, that means that the closing price, right, must ultimately closed above. That means it must be above the wash line. Okay, so it can be like a dodgy. Okay, it can be a dodgy, such as it can be a long tail, and then let's say for example this is white, right, and then this is black, for example. Okay, but even though this is 0 is white and then 1 is black, it doesn't really matter because as long as the closing price is above the previous high, then we are able to say that there's a wash bar. Okay, so the colors doesn't matter. All right, but because what we are measuring would be actual participation in this wash bar here. Okay, what do I mean by actual, right? Are there people really buying above the wash line? Okay, whether it's black or white, it doesn't really matter. Are the people really buying above the wash line? Are the buying activities enthusiastic or not? Okay, so that's what we are more, how to say, concerned about. Okay, because if a lot of people are buying around here, that means that when it brings back down, right, then a lot more people would be really very uh sad, all right, or disappointed about the price action, the price behavior. And when price really reins back in, and when a lot of people are very sad and very disappointed with the price behavior, and that's where price would drop a lot more, because then they know that whatever they bought are now in a loss, right? So they are in a hurried uh, manner to go and cut their losses. Okay, so that's the whole spirit behind here. Now, in other words, right, what I'm trying to say is that when you want to have a good move in the sell wash and rinse, you want here to be a resistance. Okay, and that if you want to have a good wash and rinse at the bottom here, all right, where it should rinse back up, then you want here to be a support level. Okay, so whether it is a support level or it is a resistance level, this one you have to judge. Okay, that means that there are many ways to judge a support, resistance, etc. And of course that we also need to handle and take care of the trend. For example, when you have a movement that's really deep downtrend and you try to catch on a wash and rinse, then you are very much catching a deep reversal. That means you're trying to say, hey, look, these stocks are you are really, really being condemned already, right? And even I see a wash and rinse, and that is probably just a rebound. It's not really a true reversal. Okay, so end of the day, right? I mean, you must still be able to differentiate all this. Okay, so that's why I said that wash and rinse as a pattern is being covered in module 1, but the application of it would be in module 2. So you still have to pay for it. Okay, and of course then it's also the constant support that we are giving, so there's a lot more to that payment. But anyway, this one aside, I just wanted to let you know that please don't take the knowledge of water means assuming that today you attend these lessons and you know it, right? And it's, hey, let me just go and then go and try the water means that she's talking about. It seems so powerful, and whenever I illustrated that, it seems like so good. And then how come I use it? It's not working because there are missing links in the application. I only talk about the pattern here only. I have not talked about the application. Okay, all right. So what is the difference between the rebound and reversal? Later on in Neo, let me just talk about that. Okay. It's always the things I'm talking about. The green line is the line to watch, right? Must R bar be immediately after? No. The R bar need not be immediately after the wash bar. As I said, there can be multiple bars inside here. Okay. All right. It doesn't really need to, right? But later on, we can take a look at the chart. So today it's a little bit more on the application side. Okay. All right. So since there's a question from Zoom, my assisting student asked what is the difference between the rebound and the reversal. Let me just answer this question. I thought it's useful, but also to let those people who aren't our student yet to let you understand our style. Okay, so a lot of time, what I like to do, it's always to go live. And of course, then let me just drag the chart in to go live so that we can take a look at, the chart here. Okay, so let me know whether you can see my chart. Everything is okay in YouTube and as well in Zoom. Very good. I actually use this chance to drink water. I also just came back. So it was a very hectic day for me. Okay, so this is Ethereum. Let me just so what to answer the question on before Ethereum, let me just also to just answer this question. This was a recent trade that I did, and I think that I make videos on this one here. All right, to answer the question on what is the meaning of reversal versus rebound. Okay, now rebound means that price hit a low, previously was down, all right, and then price hit the low and it goes up. Okay, that is called rebound. It's a general term of price rebounding. So a reversal can be where it is a rebound as well. Okay, but reversal in itself, right, has a has more implication here. Okay, like for example, let me just switch this into a line chart. Now, it has to do with what's the trend. So for example, I just choose this point here, and then this point here, and this point here, and then this point here, right? Okay, so we know that with these 4 points, which is a high and a lower high and a low and a lower low, right? So this is a downtrend. Okay, now, in order to look at a reversal, all right, so we can check for reversal patterns at the bottom. So what are the reversal patterns, right? It can be that we have the double bottom as a reversal pattern. We have the inverted head and shoulder as a reversal pattern, all right? But the other where to look for reversal, I mean, the other method, all right, is where it is making a higher high. Okay, that means that instead of making a lower high again, all right, it is making a higher high, and then this one is making a high, sorry, a low, all right, that is higher, sorry, a low, this one is a low point, right, that is higher than the previous low. Okay, this we might be able to see that it is a reversal. That means it's actually heading up. Okay, so that is the difference between a reversal and a rebound. Okay, so I won't be touching whether NEO has reversed or not, but I just want to share. I think that this is something that I covered, and today I just wanted to cover a little bit in more detail. Okay, now what you see here is the signal, all right, in trading view on NEO. And of course, Esther asked and Christopher helped me to answer whether it's applicable to ETF. Yes, it's applicable to almost anything because as long as the price can move, as long as it's widely traded, whether it's the US ETF or whether it's indexes, and maybe later I can show you how I use it on the Chinese indexes. Okay, because the China indexes has been actually moving very well. Okay, so this is new here. It helps you to um, get in or spot for wash and rinse pretty really very quickly. Okay, now what I like to do is I always like to start off with the weekly chart, especially for stocks or for ETFs, or for anything that I would consider holding on. Okay. All right. Why do I want to start from the weekly chart, because then it gives a less noisy signal. Okay, so let me just go through this one here. When you see green color, it means that this is a bullish wash and rinse pattern. So let me just start to revise from the green color here, right? So when you see this cross, this means this is a rinse bar. That's very clear, okay? When you see an arrow, sorry, when you see a red color marking, right? Red color marking, it's always a rinse bar. So this is by default is a rinse bar. Then the question is then where is the wash bar? Okay, as I explained, right, when we want to buy, the bars will always be, the prices will always be moving lower in a wash and rinse pattern. All right. So, I mean, our eyes are automatically trained. Like, for example, I'm just going to mark in two bars here, right? Okay. Now, if you see these as 0 and 1, right? Of course, this is a wash line because 1 closed lower than the low of 0. Okay, but the wash line will keep shifting as price starts to move. Okay, for example, right, take a look at this 1 and 0 here. Then there's 1 closed lower than 0 low, right? So this would be the new wash line. So this new wash line, once it's appear, means that it will displace this old wash line here. That means that this old wash line will no longer be relevant anymore. It's not that it is wrong. It's just that at this moment it is irrelevant because a new wash line has appeared. What we're going to do is that we're just going to watch, right, that price ultimately must close above the wash line. Okay, so what is more important is must close above the wash line, and this is the bar that closes above that wash line. It means that this is the rinse bar and this one is the wash bar. As you can see, there are two bars in between here. Okay, so wash and rinse, it's just not two patterns. It can be multiple bars, right? Now, then, I mean, it's a phenomena to let you know, right? For example, that people are selling here. Okay, they sold here, but ultimately, when it closed back up, what it means is that those people who sold here, all right, they are, in a bad state because then whatever they sold, they are selling cheap because price right now is actually moving higher. Okay, so if you understand this phenomena, all right, then you will have to also remember that a good wash and rinse appear when it is at a support. Okay, so for example, we saw that historically new had a support level or a low level around here, right? And in terms of you buying a stocks, let's say for example, as a reference here, okay, and you say that, hey, look, previously at 380, it's rebounded. So 380 could be a low. And even if you were to buy at 380, for example, you would say, okay, let me just hold it because, it's just that it might just be going zero. Or at most, even if it goes at $3, it is still cheaper than if it's based on 750, for example. So you will use the previous historical levels as a reference point here. But what happened here, for example, it could be people who bought in at 380. And then when you see this long bar that moves down, then it means that this group of people, what happened? They could be really genuinely selling correctly because they might be trading on the breakout of a support level, or it could be that there might be some extreme news that cause fear. Okay, whatever it is, you just do not know whether it will continue down or it might just move up because then some people might be coming in and say, hey, look, it is too low already. Let me just pick a bar again. Okay, so what happened is that you want to let price confirm to say that there is a wash and rinse activity here. Okay, whoever who sold out at this bar was wrong. Okay, so this is where we are simply just waiting for price action to confirm. And if you can wait for the rinse here, what it does is that it will confirm that these would be the support level that the market is watching. Because the idea is that people just do not can use many different techniques They can use Fibonacci, they can use historical support resistance, or can they use any other technique, right? So the price levels would be, multiple, where you just do not know which one is it. But with wash and means, we can use it to confirm that this is the price level that the market is looking at. All right. And of course that, because NEO, it's in a deep down situation, right? So, even with this wash and means here, which is the bullish wash and means here, right? Anyway, there wasn't any signal. That's because it doesn't meet the criteria, just to let you know. Okay, that means a wash and means still have other criteria that it must meet, which is being coded inside this indicator here. But it gives you a quick reference to say that, okay, if you had bought in, and then if you regret it, there would be actually a counter signal that came in here, which is a sell signal. That means that it does gives you that sell signal at the high. That means that when price move up substantially, then it will come in at a high, or when price moved up substantially, then it will come in at the high. Okay, all right. And ultimately, another wash and rinse pattern happened here, which is this one. So what is useful to me, right, in terms of my usage, is that a lot of time I do not have time to draw support resistance. Okay, meaning that, for example, if you are in this chart here, right, your chart could be parked like this. Okay, like this one here, right? And then you just do not know whether there is going to be a support resistance level here. But when a wash and rinse happen, like for example, when this signal happens, okay, it's a very useful way for me to know that, okay, there's a wash and rinse, and then there's a support level here, and then why is it that wash and rinse appear here? There must be something that the market is saying that I'm not able to find it. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to project this level and probably to suspect that, oh yeah, so these could be a whole support zone here. Okay, so this is my way of using, which is really very useful to find major reversals in the higher time frame. Okay, especially if you are doing stocks. Okay, so this is just an example here where, because of this cross, which is a green color, it comes in very easy for me to find this trade. Okay, which means that you're gonna have a watch list here. Okay, for example, right? So this is my watch list for the Hong Kong and the Singapore market. And of course, then I can just switch between the different, how to say, stocks, right? And then to easily find colors. Okay, so I only focus on green colors and I only focus on red colors, right? So when it's a green, and then I know that this is a bullish pattern. When it's a red, then this is a bearish pattern. Okay, now, so what I did was that when NEO came in here, that's where it caught my attention. And of course that this wash and rinse would happen so much faster, as an earlier signal before the market starts to talk about it. So when the market starts to talk about NEO, all right, as a stock, it was actually near here. Okay, so this is where I would like to share with today, right, how to use the weekly signal and then use the daily signal to enter. Okay, so they are both using wash and rinse. It's all about making sure, right, that the higher time frame agree. So a lot of time when in theory we said, oh yeah, trade with the trend, trade with the trend. Then the thing is that what are you trying to trade with? Which trend? Okay. So when we say trade with the trend, then what I'm trying to align here is I'm trying to say that, hey, look, number one, right? I want to make sure that the weekly pattern, that means the weekly chart, has already shown either bullishness or bearishness, and I want to make sure that my execution time frame, which is the next lower time frame, which is the day, right? So if I am referring to the week, then my execution time frame would be the day. Okay, so if I'm using the day, right, And then my execution time frame could be a 4 hour or it could be a 1 hour. So this is usually how the wash and rinse, or how most systems in terms of multiple time frame, they will work. Okay. Now, so what I did was that here I was already having a bullish signal, a bullish signal, and bullish signal, and that's where I flipped to the lower time frame. So let me just go to lower time frame, and I only want to focus on buy, because the higher time frame, let me just draw back one, right? It's because the higher time frame had already shown a buy, right? I don't want to go against the higher time frame. I want to follow the higher time frame. Okay, so when the higher time frame shown a buy, I will flip to the lower time frame. Okay, and in the lower time frame, which is the day, right, I only want to look for a buy. Okay, that means I only want to have a buy, right? And of course, that for those in my lesson, if you were to switch on to tech, right, and then you know that tech, it would be in the lower time frame, would have already given us signals around here. Okay, so that's a tech signal. But what I'm doing right now is pairing two, where I switch on the signal for tech, right? And this orange line is a resistance level. In other words, right, if price can close above the resistance level, all right, and this resistance level becomes a support level, all right, that's where I will be having a more firmed buy. Okay, so that's where I use the two system here, right? But today I'm only covering the wash, that means I'm not covering the tag here. Tag, it's belonging to another system, which is under Top Pro. And of course, then it's still payable, because then if you want to use all this your tools, then that's where you need to pay. All right. Now, so what I'm doing now in the lower time frame is that I'm only interested to look for a buy signal. So you can just look for, again, right, a buy wash and rinse. Okay. Now, so this is a buy wash and rinse. You see that? Because we have the green signal here. Okay, so the green signal came in, and that becomes a buy signal. You want to use this as a re-entry to the higher time frame. So this becomes a re-entry here. All right. So why is this a wash and rinse? That's because you see that price had a like a huge move, a breakout here. All right, and price rested for 2 days, with this particular day, right, having a close below the previous low, and after that it closed back up, and that becomes a buy signal here. All right, and then price moved up, and you realize that if you flip to the week, right, the signals hasn't changed. That means that there is no bearish signal that comes in. Okay, and of course that when you learn the technique of wash lines, we are able to draw in a wash line here to tell us that as long as it doesn't close below, we are still saved in our long trade. That means in our buy. Okay, now, so what happened right now is that if you were to use both the wash and rinse and with tech, okay, that means that this is the other system here, right? You know that the wash and rinse had basically a re-entry here, but what happens is that tech, right, price also closed above the orange line, and that firms up that the reversal of this downward movement is true. So back to WX, who asked me about what is a rebound and what is a reversal, right? So we have a very, very clear definition of reversal. So this means that when it's above it, that the reversal is firm already. And then with the wash and rinse here, what merely that I have to do is I have to watch for a price to move higher, so that there's a bullish wash and rinse. Okay, because I'm already bullish, there's only one way that I can trade this. I just have to make sure that I can find a bullish signal. Okay, now because wash and rinse in nature requires us to draw the wash line, and the wash line is drawn such that the current bar one must close below the previous bar. Okay, so therefore, you see this one here, can I draw a wash line? Yes or no? Requires your answer. Can I draw a wash line here? Yes or no? Can see? Those in Zoom? Yes or no? Can I draw a wash line like this here? Oh, no reaction? Yeah, okay, okay, understand. But I mean, just looking at 0 and 1, right? I can draw a wash line, right? Okay, very good. Now, how about then as price appear and then can I draw, okay, so I have a wash line here, right? And as price appear, can I draw another wash line here? Another wash line here, another wash line here. Yes, right? Okay, so I'm able to draw in this wash line. So let me just draw that here like that. I'm going to draw in this wash line here, and then I can draw in this wash line here. All right. So it means that instead of buying around here, now because of the new wash line, we are actually buying around here, and you're buying so much nearer to the support level, which is 4.56. Okay. All right. So same thing, you just have to wait for the wash bar to appear. Okay. And then after that, you have to wait for the rinse bar to appear, right? So if I'm trading here, then I'm very, very tired already. And that's where we need a lot of automations, right? If I'm very, very tired already, so what I need is I need to see this arrow here. All right. But again, that if you are trading real time, right? And then you are browsing the price, right? You already know the price of the wash line. Okay. The wash line is around 4.62. All right. And when it closes back up, and you know that by trading around this price here, at about 4.79, it had already confirmed a wash and rinse. Okay. So people were selling after this huge up. Okay, people were selling because then they probably made some money from this first huge up. But what they didn't know was that the other system, which is tech, right, already indicated that by closing higher here, we have already had a change in that downtrend. The downtrend had already been broken already. So that's where we use it as a chance to enter. Okay, so this would be the next entry. So in other words, right, when price comes back down again, right, what you have to focus is that you just have to focus that, okay, there's another one more wash and rinse pattern here. Okay, so every time you just have to focus, I need a wash and rinse pattern, right? Same thing, you see another one more wash and rinse pattern here, and price never gotten below the support level. So you want to use wash and rinse to confirm that a support level is valid, but that also becomes your buy entry. Okay, all right, and I only look for a buy entry only after the week. That means that somewhere around here we have a weekly pattern, weekly signal. I only want to do it only after the weekly pattern had confirmed. And this would drastically reduce the amount of noises that you're gonna encounter in your trade. And of course, then whether it burst up like this, okay, like that, right? I would term it as something where it's a matter of luck. Okay, not all the trades will burst up in this manner. Okay, but if you can find trades that's in line with the higher time frame, then generally when the two time frames align, you do get better trades. Okay, you do get better trades, and where the trades becomes uh, where the two time frames align, then the trades will become a little bit more explosive. Okay. All right. So let's come back into here, right? So this is where we're going to have Neo again. And then apparently the price is still uptrend. Okay. And that's where things becomes a little bit more interesting. All right. So we are going to wait for the wash and rinse, and rather than we go and like strain our eyes, um, you know, um, spend a lot of time. What I'm doing right now is just to focus on one thing. I want to see the green signal in here. Okay, so somewhere around here is the predicted support level. And what I'm looking for would be, I don't care whether it's an arrow or whether it's a cross. I just want to see the green color signal happening here. Okay, and to be frank, right, tech is very useful, very extremely useful to tell us that the trend changed or whether the trend continues. But at the same time, if we pair in the wash and rinse, it's going to be even more better because it does give you that entry. Okay, now I'm just going to pause here. Uh, and let me know whether you do have questions. If not, I will move on to another example where I know you know that we traded the Ethereum. I brought up the Ethereum. Let me just share with you how I spotted it, because being able to spot trade, it's very important, and you don't need to go around to hunt for trades. You can just have a watch list, and the watch list, you just follow the fixed step each time to just go and spot for that wash and rinse. Okay, and if you don't want to spend too much time in trading, you just want to use it for investment, then you use the wash and rinse in the weekly time frame. And sometimes it does make sense, right? Even if you switch that into the monthly time frame, you do get a lot of very nice input. For example, I mean, that is really for where it's an investment, all right. So just for those who are interested, for example, okay, in the whole duration of new, in this support level, dong dong dong, right? Of course, you can only determine the support level when it hit many times. Okay. And only this time here, where it's the third time, right, that you see that, hey, look, there is actually a green arrow coming in. Okay. So that's pretty much save a lot of time, because you know that, okay, yeah, this is a wash and rinse, right? I mean, how many months of wash and rinse? Okay. So first we have this one here, that price so below it. Okay, but if you really look at this long bar here, right? So price basically moved above just this 1 month, right? It moved above 1, 2, 3, 4 months of bearishness, and it just used only 1 month of bullishness, right, to clear 4 months of bearishness. So tell me, do you think that this is a a good wash and rinse? Because basically, those who sold new for the past 4 months, they are all wrong right now after we've seen this happening. Okay, that means like that, right? Those who sold new here, 1, 2, 3, 4, they're all wrong. Okay, because then this becomes one bar to close all of them. So it becomes a very useful way, right, to rationalize. Okay, rationalize the move. So Brian asked, could it be a false breakout? That means false breakout to which side? The downside, the bearish false breakout, or the bullish false breakout? Okay, I mean a false breakout to go. Okay, yeah. Well, then you have to understand what would makes these people in this 1 month. Okay, what would make these people in this 1 month to trade at the higher price than the past 4 months? Okay, for the past 4 months, the market has been trading at this low zone here. Why would people right now be interested to trade higher than the past 4 months? Okay, and if it's a false breakout, then this would be the wash line to tell you that it must close below in order to generate that 40 wash and means. And that's when we go into the lower time frame, because right now it's a month, right? The lower time frame will be a week, or it could be a day, for example, and we just want to search for the same signal that comes in. Okay, of course, then if you use tech and if you use again the wash and rinse, it does I would say that it filters a huge amount of wrong signal. So symbols doesn't matter. We just look at the colors. Yes, symbols doesn't matter. I don't really look at them as symbols. In fact, that this has been one of the complaints about the things I've designed. I wanted to make it simpler, to remove the cross and the arrow just to make it consistent. But it doesn't really trouble me as long as they know that we just need to focus on the color and that's it. Okay, just focus on the color, right? Dennis asks, WR can be used for intraday trade. Yes, in fact, that if you look at our, wash and rinse trade for the FX, for the indexes, for crypto, our entry is actually in the H4. All right. But I have not, talked a lot about the usage in the stocks, and that's where, I use it for the stocks. Okay. So one of the things, right, that I'm also using, let me just show you. You want to see Tesla, okay, or you want to see Ethereum? Let me just go through Ethereum first, Okay. I also use it for the Chinese index. If you remember, one of the ETF that I was talking about is actually CXT. So this one, I've talked about it in my video, in my YouTube video. And the reason of talking about this one was because of Chinex. Okay. Any of you have uh, know what Chinex is? If you look at my video, you will know what Chinex is about, Chinex is a sub-index that's list is in Shenzhen Stock Exchange. All right, and it consists of tech stocks. Okay, what are the tech stocks? Just remember this one. The largest is CATL, which is the largest battery maker in the world for the EV. And the second largest is something like iFast, but that's for the Chinese market. That means if you want to buy funds, you want to buy stocks, or you want to know anything about stocks related news or gossip or whatever, then you go to this website, which is called Tian Tian Wang. So this second largest in China, it's in the finance related. Okay, so the reason why I was looking at Chinex, number one, right, was of course that price had a close above this red line and this orange line, right? But when you want to pair it together, you look at this, right? There was a bearish signal here. Okay, so it's easy for the bearish signal. I won't say that wash and rinse is 100% accurate. There are still cases where it gives you the wrong signal, but we just have to filter it. Okay, that means that we want to sell, we want to make sure that we sell near the resistance, and we want to buy when it's make sure that it's at the support level. But even though it is a wrong signal, it popped the reverse signal pretty much quickly, so that if you can execute the cut loss and you can hold on your trade, then it does pretty much gives you a good performance. Okay, so let's talk about this one here, right? For example, Chinex. I know that Chinex is not something that you are looking, but I just think that this is a wonderful trade. It's priced at this bar here, okay, has a green color pattern, a signal. But more importantly, right, it has this close above the red color level, which is essentially a resistance level. Okay, so we have a wash and rinse. At the same time, we have a resistance level here that's being cleared. Okay, what this means is that by using both system, we conclude that this downward consolidation has been actually broken. Okay, so as a whole, right, if you see what is happening, price surge up, consolidated for about 6 months or 6 to 8 months. And then after that, at this point here, had that bullish signal. And then if you got in, and then you know that your stop loss will be somewhere around here. And the upside is where it's almost like I mean, depending on how you want to imagine that. Okay. But I want to confess is that I did not enter here. Okay. When I launched the video, price was somewhere around here. Okay. Why do I do that? Because I'm also not too sure that this is going to be acting as a resistance or not. So basically, I've waited for price to move higher. All right. And to go to the lower time frame. That means the same technique which I shared with you. Okay, so this was that gray color that I map in, and then go to the lower time frame and to spot for only one thing, which is a bullish wash and rinse in the direction of the higher time frame, which is the weekly chart. So weekly chart had already pointed to a buy. Then what do I have to do? I just have to go to the daily time frame to spot for that same signal in the daily time frame. And by having the two, that means that by having the tall indicator in trading view, it becomes very easy because then I can easily see that there is a buy signal here. Okay. And when you have a buy signal here, then you can understand, right? Because you know that a buy signal was created because there was a sell here, but then it hit right into the support. And then those people who sold around here, they are all wrong because price closed back up again. All right. And then those people who sold here would still be a wash and rinse. Okay, all right. So that's basically how I traded into this Chinex, and I make that video if you're going to watch that. And of course, then you can if you want to trade that, then you can use the ETF to enter into the Chinex. Okay, all right. So I thought that it's a very interesting trade, which not a lot of people cover. All right, but it works. It does just work very well. Ethereum was the trade that we did a lot of times. Okay, so that was basically Ethereum. And I first talk about Ethereum when it was actually, if I don't remember wrongly, it was here. Okay, all right. You find that I don't really catch a trade, right? Immediately at the lowest point. Okay, why do I say that? Because it has to do with psychology. Sometimes when you are in a trade, and let's say, for example, let me just talk about psychology here, right? So let's say you are really, really very bullish about Ethereum. You are very bullish, right? And you saw that this was a support level here. And then price move here, and you find that this was a support level, and you say, hey, look, let me just buy at this level here, which is 2,200. And you know that, oh yeah, this is a very low point, and you really, really have a lot of faith. All right. But when you start to see that price is dropping like that, which is around 1,892, what about your faith? What do you think you would feel when it dropped and you bought in at about 2,200? How would you feel at that point of time? Share with me. Be truthful to yourself also. Okay, because right now, of course, you know that Ethereum is 4,006, huh? But when you bought in at 2,002 and you see that price actually move down to, let's say, for example, $1,500 and 70 cents, let's say 1,600. You bought 2,002, it went down to 1,006. Whoever that you trusted or you watch in YouTube or whoever told you, right? I say, hey, don't worry, it will sure go up, don't worry. But if you look at the price, the fact is that it is heading down. Okay. So whoever who assure you, whoever whom you trusted, sometimes you also feel bad, right? You also feel, why is it like that? Okay, even though I picked low already. I mean, at most, that this one goes to zero, which perhaps you are not too sure. But then with some news here and there, sometimes it can be, yes, like what Esther said, very frustrated. Okay. So what happened is that uh, uh, we have to note a lot about psychology. So that's why a lot of time I really, really want it to play out first. That means I really want the market to play out first, right? To go and rinse all the stops and whatever first, right? Before I make the entry. I feel a lot more better. That's why that I only brought up Ethereum when I'm very sure that number one, the wash and rinse had happened. Okay. Number two, it also wash and rinse this level here. Number three, if you go to the sorry, if you go to the month chart, it did that wash and rinse as well. Okay. All right. So I wanted, see, I don't buy at the lowest price. I don't think that I can get at the lowest price. But what I wanted, I just wanted to have the low hanging fruits. That means I just wanted to get it such that it's smooth sailing. You don't need to wait so long. Okay. All right. So that is really my objective here. Okay. So I brought up Ethereum to the community. Let me just switch a little bit off, just like that. Okay, I brought up Ethereum to the community, and then they started to trade that. All right, and of course that we knew that this was that reversal going on, reversed. It has reversed already by actually going higher. Okay, and that's where you do see another one more washed here. So that's the washed, and then another one more rinse here again, right? Where people were selling Ethereum, but then it moves up, and then there was another one more wash here, and then we have another one more rinse here, right? And that's basically it, and it's still heading higher here. Okay, all right. But let's say, for example, at this point of time, okay, sorry. At this point of time, you were bullish with Ethereum already. What you have to do is just go to the day and you just have to find the bullish signal here. Okay. Now, since I've only illustrated the bullish signal so far, what I thought of doing, right, is to share with you the trade, right, on the bearish side. Okay. So for example, let me just roll back a little bit on what I think was a very, very obvious trade at that point of time. Okay, so this was Ethereum, and we know from the technical levels, right, that this was a resistance, this was a resistance, this was a high, this was the high, and naturally this was the high. Okay, can see that? Now, I know that this is a weekly chart, but weekly chart has its purpose. A lot of time when you when you are here, okay, like this, all right? And sometimes we don't even look at the past, okay? But when you are here and you are looking at the price action, all right? One thing that is going to come across you, you're going to find that this is going to be a very bullish price action. I mentioned already a lot of time that we thought it was a very bullish price action and you enter and the next moment it just turn against you. And this happened very, very often. Okay, so it spiked high, it hit right into a resistance. Okay, like this one here. So this was a resistance. All right. Now, so let's say for example, wash and rinse. You know that this was the wash line, 3,744. This was the wash line. And then you see this and say, oh yeah, okay, luckily price still hasn't moved down. There's a chance for the breakout to happen. But you see this? So my question to you, has it been washed and rinsed? Okay. Are you able to rationalize it to say that, okay, those people who bought here washed? Okay. When they see this bar, are those people who bought here, are they happy or are they sad? What do you think? They are sad, right? Okay. Okay. Now that's when you say, oh yeah, Bini, I'm trading Ethereum. Why are you asking me to take a look at the weekly chart? But I'm actually saying this also. All right. A lot of time you realize that, after you have traded, it just continue to move down or continue to move up, just trending, trending. Then what are these people looking at? How come they are able to continue with that trend? So why don't we have a little bit more confirmation first? Because yes, I mean, one of the things I kept saying is that slow is good, right? You don't want it to be too fast. Okay. Why do I want to be slow? Because you want to make sure those people who really have the money, right? Their institutions, their funds, etc. They need time to exit. They need time to enter. All right. And then when they need time to exit or they need time to enter, they always leave a footprint there, right? Okay, so this is a very important thing, all right, to for us to know, all right, that it is a clue. Okay, that means it's a clue to tell us that, hey, look, perhaps that we are able to um uh take that trade on the short side already. Okay, all right. Now, so what happened is that you will just go to the day, switch to the day, and then look for what? Look for sell signal. Okay, that means that when it goes up and it do that wash and rinse, you only focus on the sell signal. Okay. Now, so there's a buy here. You don't want, you only focus on the sell signal. All right. And of course, that what I would also encourage is to look at the levels here, right? This is the wash line. So this one is the wash line, and this is the wash line for the bullish signal to happen. That means that if you are very, very well acquainted with wash and rinse, so this one is a signal. Oops, I'm sorry. This one is that wash line here for that sell signal, and this one is the wash line for the buy signal. Okay, so in other words, right, I would be interested to look at the purpose of look at the signal in this how to say in this zone here. Okay, so when you go to the day, all right, I want to make sure that within this zone here I can find a sell pattern, okay, in the lower time frame. Okay, so you see another one more sell signal here. All right, you want to trade in the direction of the higher time frame. You don't want to take the buy signal. I mean, of course, if it's a short term, then you might want to do that. But if you want to really, really just focus trades that's with the trend, then you want to take this sell signal here, and then you also want to take that sell signal here, which happens here, and you want to take that sell signal. Okay, here, and then, here. Okay, because you want it to be in the direction of the higher time frame. Okay, so let me just answer Esther's question. The purpose of referring to moderate time frame is to get confirmation and March early entry. Well, you want to trade in the direction of the big giants, right? You want to trade in the directions of the institutions, the funds. You want to be in the direction of the flow. Okay, so that is the purpose. You want to make a lot of money in the fastest manner. All right, you don't want to be in the wrong tide. Okay, so for example, if the trend is if the current is flowing down, so it's much easier for you to swim down than to swim up, to swim against it. Okay, so if the current is flowing up, then it's much easier to swim up, right, than to swim against it. Okay, to swim down. Okay. Can we just focus on one time frame and look for WR pattern and make entry? The answer is no. Okay, so in fact, that if you attend our module 2, we will always guide you on what to look up for, why this WR is good and this WR is not good, what are the combinations that we are looking at, and that would be under module 2, more on the application side. So if you purely just focus on wash and rinse, for example, you do get this type of effect. Okay, you have a buy and then you have a sell, and after that you have a buy. You do get um, a lot of noises. All right, so when this comes in here like that, um, it means that the higher time frame is an up already. So there is only one possibility here, which is to look for buy and to look for buy and not to look for down. Okay, all right. So something I just want to share with you, the truth of using it. All right. I also posted Tesla, which was one of the trade that I used to do. It's also using the weekly, sorry, not the weekly chart. It's also using the weekly wash and rinse, okay, to do on Tesla. So one of the, let me just go through this one here. Okay, here we go. Okay. Those students been with me, all right. Do you remember that I talk about Tesla? Somewhere around, let me just roll back a little bit. Yeah, 180. Yes. Not only that, I talk about Tesla at 180. So Kevin was talking about 180, right? I talk about Tesla again when it was 200. Okay, so let me just explain, right, why 200 plus, and then after that, why Tesla moved up, and I want to explain the meaning of wash and rinse, right, which people just focus on the pattern, but it is not true. It is just not the pattern. It's a way for you to get very, very confident of yourself, because a lot of time you are not confident of yourself, partly because you do not know the narrative or you do not know the story. So when I teach wash and rinse, I always encourage students to know the stories, and this is where we are guiding them. Okay, so the course is not about just the pattern, it's about the being with you in the journey. So that's very important. So Tesla, when I first talk about it, and let's talk about this signal here. Okay, so there was a green signal. Okay, so where is this green signal coming from, and why is it important? And this is a month chart, and people say, hey, look, why do you want to use a month chart? Use a month chart, you're so slow. But the thing is that you have to use this higher time frame in order to understand the impact here. Okay, so where is the wash line? The wash line is here. Okay, so this is the wash line. All right, so in other words, when you have the rinse bar here, so this is the rinse, okay, and then this is the washed. Now, can you tell me how many months of people, of money being washed and rinsed? Okay, so this is 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, 4 month, 5 month, 6 months, and number 7 would be the rinse. Okay, now which has more money? Okay, which has more money that's being washed and rinsed? Okay, 7 months of money versus 7 weeks of money versus 7 days of money. Which one involve more money? Let me know. 7 months or 7 week or 7 days? Which one involve more money? Or which scenario has more money that's being washed and rinsed? How about the rest? Okay, it's 7 months. Okay, 7 months. It means that there are money who've been selling Tesla for 7 months, right? But then all of them are all wrong already. Yeah. So there's a 7 months of wash and rinse here. We're not so are you confident when Tesla make a move with 7 months of wash and rinse? Okay, versus the 7 days. So how can it be that we don't refer to the high time frame? We always have to refer to the high time frame because it's where the amount of money involved is so different here. Okay, so this is the meaning of the high time frame. Okay, of course, with this, right, we just go into uh into the lower time frame, And then that's where, okay, the high time frame already confirmed, right? The high time frame has already confirmed that we had that bullish wash and means. And then this is even the week time frame. We just have to draw in the wash line. Okay. And then we just have to wait for that bullish wash and means to come in. Okay, I traded it in the lower time frame. Okay, that's why I mentioned at 180. All right, and I actually went to the low time frame to get my trades. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So this is very important because it gives the higher time frame. All right, it gives that reinforcement to say that, hey, look, that is a very, very clear play, right? Something fundamentally have shifted in Tesla. Okay. And we just have to be a little bit more hardworking to go in to find. And that's where I was talking about it at 180. Okay. So Kevin, now you know the reason why I was talking about Tesla for so many weeks. And then I talk about it when it was 200. 200. Okay, so that's where the trades review. Okay, so again, that what happened to Tesla after this, huh? So let me just slowly roll to you. Okay, it just go boom, 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 and it went all the way to the 400 level. Okay, of course, then we do have that Trump effect coming in. Trump have this election and blah blah blah, but we can't deny that there was a bullish wash and rinse here. So that was on the month-to-month level, on a support level here on that bullish wash and rinse. Okay. Esther, I won't be able to explain this because all these are all hard coded. So the coding already scanned that signal. So it would be true. Okay, so I don't want to explain why because my focus is really more on explaining the logic of wash and rinse and then bringing you the convenience to say that let's save a little bit more time. Let's focus on the effort to look for the green and the red, okay, especially for the green for stocks, huh? And you just want to focus on this effort for the green so that you use this to look for your charts and when you look for the trades, then that's where you can bring in the money. Okay, all right. Okay, now, so same thing. What I would do every day or every month or every week, right? Is I just want to look for the wash and rinse pattern. So for example, right? So this is the month, right? And then there was a huge down here. Okay, but again, when Tesla reached that $200 level, and then that's where it had the up here, right? And that was where I was telling the group, right? The support level of Tesla is here, and also I think that we identified a support level in Tesla based on tech, right? And that's about this level here. Okay, so that was the tech level, but then if you switch to the month, right, you realize that they're all coming together. Okay, and of course, then I wouldn't say that Tesla is entirely bullish because then that's where we have that resistance level coming in. Okay, have a buy low here and a sell high here, and then we're just gonna see how it plays out here. Okay. It's not the first time that we talk about Tesla. And then if you add in tech, for example, you totally can understand that what I'm trying to talk about, that Tesla has a support level here. In fact, that this was the support level that has been hovering Tesla here, right? Okay, all right. For the buy, wash, and rinse, the rinse bar must close above the wash line. Yes, correct. It's always the wash line. Huh? always a wash line. Okay. Now, I think that I have gone through quite a lot already. For those our existing students, if you want to know more, then Pauline is doing explanation of wash and rinse every Thursday, so you can actually ask her question. What I like to do is I like to very quickly to go through our program because I think that it's something that you mustn't miss because I can explain to you in just one session, but I also assure all of you that I try to cover as much as possible, but there's a lot more things that I'm not able to explain. So it just makes a lot of sense to join our program. Okay, so the wash and rinse is under Top Plus, and the course fee is 1,200. It's a very reasonable course fee, and in fact, that I think is cheaper than tuition. Okay, and we do have automations. That means that we do have that arrows and the wash lines and the signals all being programmed in TradingView and MT4 available. Okay. Now, if you want to take the module one, you can scan this code here. But what I recommend is for you to pay for it because it comes with a cashback. So for those people who are interested to use it for the lower time frame, so this is what we offer in the lower time frame for use in trading of FX or indexes, etc. Okay. Uh, we have the dashboard, we have the auto box, etc. All these are terminology. Once you join us, then you understand already. But if you are interested in the lower time frame trading, especially on FX or indexes or crypto, we have Alum, which is automated trade manager that helps you to manage the trade. We have these daily wash and rinse alerts that's being sent to the Telegram. And we do have this dashboard here that shows you how to enter on a 4 hour alert. Okay. It marks in which trades have a potential wash and rinse. All right, and then this is how the dashboard. All these are all the FX pairs. When you do have all things that's being light up here in yellow, for example, it means that 4 hour had a wash and rinse signal. This means that 1 hour had a wash and rinse signal. Okay, so all these will be actually provided to you in the program for our signal, and then of course you have the auto boxes which comes in our course. Okay, so it's a full how to say uh it's a full system. Okay, plus the tools given to you. Okay, so let me just quickly go through what is the trade manager. So a lot of people doesn't have time to place trades. All right, so I've designed this, which is an expert advisor to help you place trades and to manage trades based on wash and rinse. Okay, meaning that the trades are automatically placed for you when you allow them to be placed, and then it will automatically open the trade for you to put in a stop loss, to trail your stop loss, etc. But again, that it is based on it's like a trade manager. It's not where 100% that is being 100% where the automations make all the decision for you. So you have to decide that I want to open this trade, and then you place it in, and then you will manage everything for you. So, but you still have to go and decide. Okay. So let's say, for example, if you detected there is a potential wash line here, there is a potential wash and rinse here, right? So you just put it in and you automatically open the trade for you, automatically put in the trailing stop loss. And when you are in a winning position, you will just keep adding the trade for you, keep trailing your stop loss, add in so that you can continue to make money. All right, it has a very smart algorithm where you add the trade such that you don't make a loss. So you will keep some, and then you add some, keep some, add some, and ultimately, hopefully, you write the whole thing out. Okay, all right. So this is given to you in the package. TAR is the alien room. It's where we say that is a support for this program here. Okay, so I won't explain all this, but most But what I like to do is just to explain the cashback. Okay, so this is the cashback here. Now, the cost is 1,200. What we offer as the strategy, which is the full alien wash strategy. That means that including what I've explained here, plus also how we select the trade, how we filter the trades, etc., and how we execute in the lower time frame. Okay, and we have this complimentary 12 months the alien room. So alien room is where we describe our support. Okay, so it include our support to you and include the indicators and the robot. So the robot would be alum as what you've seen. The indicators will be in TradingView and MT4 and MT5. The support would be the lesson that we are giving, okay? And the lesson we're giving would be every Tuesday and every Thursday night. So for example, this session will usually be taken care by another trainer where she will answer your questions. She will be talking about how to use the wash and rinse in the um, by looking at the current market. Okay, and the whole program will be 12 months. So you do get that 12 months of indicators and tools. You get that 12 months of support here. Okay, now you also have 12 months what we call the hand holding. So this is where we help you to look at the trades, and then this is where the students come in to say, hey, look, what is the mood of the market? Okay, how to you interpret, for example, the Nasdaq, etc. So we will go through using the technique here, so that it helps you to understand the market. So it's actually built for beginners because if who gives the 12 months program? Okay, not a lot of people gives that. All right, who gives the tools and who gives the strategy under a $1,200 package? Okay, so I think that this is a very good deal. Now, on top of that, all right, if you get an account with the designated broker, then what they will do is that they will give you $1,200 cash back. Okay. Now, in other words, right, with this cashback, your cost fee would be what happened? Free. Okay. So cost fee is free because you pay $1,200 for the cost, but you get that $1,200 cash back into your account. Okay. On top of it, you have this loss cover, $500 loss cover. It means that the first $500 losses that you made, okay, that means the first $500 that you lose, all right, would be covered back. All right. So let's say, for example, you lose $499 in your trade. You go to the broker. Can you just erase that trade and pay me back the 499? The broker say, okay, your losses erased already. No more loss. So this gives you a very, very good way to take the strategy and trade it. All right. Now, of course, that if you do need like a VPS, then you can just top up, all right, and you get that VPS. Okay, this is to host the robot. All right, so the total value is really 1984 here. Okay, I think that this is a super good deal, really good deal. So if you like to get this cashback, then please use this link here. So let me just get you this link, all right, to apply for an account. But if you're assisting, let's say XC Trader account, right, XC account, then you can also apply it as well. Okay, so it applies to you as well, as long as that your account come from us, because we do pay part of that cashback also. Okay, payout from our marketing fee that we receive from them. Yes, you have to fund $5,000. That's the minimum requirement, and this $5,000 becomes your capital. Okay, so you fund $5,000, you meet the two standard lot criteria. What is two standard lots? It's very, very easy to fulfill. So two standard lots, it applies to the FX, but you can trade that in the stocks or CFDs, or you can trade it in the indexes. So basically, what the students will do is that if they are afraid that they can't meet the two standard lots, they will just open and close, right? So when you open and close, what you incur would be the spread. That means the difference between the buy and sell. So one standard lot, you will lose about $20 to $25. All right. Two standard lots means you will lose about, let's say, maximum $50, right? But the maximum $50 that you lose by meeting these two standard lots will be covered back in the loss cover. So essentially, there is really, I mean, I would say that this is really a super deal. Okay. Now, the deal would expire very quickly. All right. Because we did lose the deal before. That means the offer just came back only. So please don't see this as a marketing gimmick. All right. To say that, okay, you need to do it before 30th of August. Okay. We do also not offer this. All right. And then you must open an account before 30th of September, and you have 3 months to meet the two standard lots requirement. And you get the 1 year of support and the tools and whatever. So I think that it is a super, super good deal. Okay, so I'm just going to send the registration to you. Don't miss this offer. Okay, the assisting students, right, who wanted to take this offer don't have anymore because they can only do it once. Okay, so if you do not have it and have not taken it before, please take that. Now, if you would like to be a funded trader, then you can join XE also, and they do give and get you funded for up to $1 million. All right, so this is not a scam to say, oh yeah, they fund you as a funded trader. So this is a genuine program, and as well as the cashback is not a scam. The students do receive that, and I think that a lot of people are scared of a scam. I mean, I always ask the students to just help me advertise whether it's a scam or not a scam. I just posted one article about someone scamming, so no, this is not a scam. Okay. Just to let you know, our support here, I focus a lot on the support. So yes, we have 7 sessions a week, minimum 1 year program. Okay. So 7 sessions times 52 weeks. So this is a 312 sessions. Divide by, I don't know, divide by 1,200 or divide by whatever. It's really cheaper than tuition. Okay, all right. Plus all the cash refund and loss cover. I think that this is a super good deal. So these are our sessions. So the alien room would be Tuesday and Thursday, 9 p.m. All right. And then if you need to contact us, this is our contact. I'm just going to show all this and go back into here. And if you do have questions, let me know. If don't have, then I will end the session here. Okay. So just to reinitiate, whatever that I've covered today will not be the full thing. That means that please don't take the strategy and say, I know what is wash and rinse. I know what you are teaching, Beanie. That's not true. Do value us in terms of the tools that we are providing and in terms of the support that we are giving. Okay, that 12 months learning process is very important. All right, you do want to get the skill and the knowledge. Okay, any question before I end the session? How about those in Zoom? Any questions of what I've covered today? All good? How about in YouTube? Okay, no question. Okay, very good. No questions. I'll end this session already. And how long must the $5,000 be kept? Please don't abuse it. That means that you really take up this program when you're serious in trading and with the broker, because the broker is super cheap in terms of the stock CFDs, the CFDs. Okay, the broker is very cheap in the CFDs. So try not to think about withdrawing. There is no limitations in terms of uh, how long you must keep that $5,000. Okay, so there's no restriction. All right, because no brokers allows can restrict you from withdrawing your own money. But if you abuse the goodwill again, all right, I mean, my other program, some people abused it, then the two lots became 45 lots right now. All right, and we have never seen it remove that 45 lots for the cashback, because there's people who abuse that. So this program is still running at two lots. Okay, but if a lot of people just withdraw like that without even trading with the broker, then I think that very soon you'll be gone. All right. Yes. Thanks a lot, CY. My program is really not a scam. I know that there's a lot of scam out there, but you do receive that cashback provided that you meet the conditions. Okay. So you must be like, you must use our link. If you don't use our link, you can't. You must um fund, you must meet that criteria, blah blah blah, all these things must meet. Okay, all right, no other questions. I just hope that for those who have in YouTube, to click the thumbs up button so that more people can watch this replay. Hope that they can know wash and rinse, and it's going to be helpful to them. Thumbs up, not love, but thumbs up. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. I see you again, and probably in next month in September. All right. Thank you. Bye bye. Thanks a lot for those in Zoom. I'm gonna end right now. Thank you. Bye.